Hey, this isn't for views. I don't care about clicks. I just want to know if anyone else has lived through something like this. Because what happened to me, I still don't understand it. But it always starts the same. At exactly 3:17 a.m. My name is Michael. I'm 32. I used to be a skeptic. I believed in math, in order, in evidence. Then I moved into that room. It was an Airbnb, upstate New York, just for a weekend. I needed to clear my head. I'd been going through a rough divorce and wanted quiet. Peace. Something clean and empty. The house was beautiful, rustic. The owner, Mrs. D, was an older woman, polite but strange. Her eyes looked like she hadn't slept in years. She showed me to the guest room upstairs, wooden floors, old floral wallpaper, and in the corner, a massive, ornate grandfather clock. It doesn't work, she told me. I asked why she didn't remove it. She hesitated, then smiled without warmth. It remembers things. I laughed. She didn't. The first night was fine until I woke up with a jolt. It was dark, silent, and I was already sitting upright in bed. Like I hadn't woken up. I'd been placed there. I looked at my phone. 3:17 a.m. The clock, the broken one in the corner, ticked. I waited. Nothing. Eventually I lay back down. The next night, same thing. 3:17. Cold sweat. The air thick like syrup. But this time, I heard something new. Footsteps. Soft, measured, coming from the hallway. I got out of bed. Opened the door. No one, except there were muddy footprints on the floor. Small, like a child's, leading into my room. I looked back. The footprints stopped at the foot of my bed, but there was no one there. The third night, I didn't even try to sleep. I sat in the chair, eyes on the clock. Nothing moved. It had no hands, no sound. Then, at 3:17 exactly, the entire room shifted. Not physically, visually. The wallpaper changed. The air grew colder. The bed was in a different place, and I wasn't alone. There was a woman sitting on the bed. She wasn't looking at me. She was looking at the clock, whispering, over and over, "Don't turn around. Don't turn around. Don't turn around." I turned, and I saw something I still can't describe. Because I think it had my face. I didn't sleep the next day. I sat in my car outside a gas station for almost 2 hours, just staring at the steering wheel. What was I supposed to say to anyone? Hey, I saw myself sitting on a bed in the past, inside a broken Airbnb, with a haunted clock. Even I didn't believe me. But that night, I still went back. Something inside me needed to understand. Needed to see it through. I brought my phone, tripod, set up the camera at the foot of the bed, facing the clock, hit record. I sat there, in the chair, waiting. At 3:16 a.m. the room was silent. At 3:17 a.m. the clock ticked, just once, and the room changed again. Wallpaper faded. Light dimmed. The floor creaked like someone was stepping on it behind me. But when I turned, no one was there, except me. In the mirror. The mirror over the dresser showed me standing there. Same clothes, same face. But my reflection, it didn't move when I did. It stood still, head tilted slightly, watching. Then it smiled, and whispered something I couldn't hear. I walked to the mirror. It smiled wider. And then, in the reflection, the clock behind me, the one that had no hands, started spinning. fast. I turned to look at the real clock. It hadn't moved. But behind me, the mirror was showing something else now. Not just me. There was a child, standing behind my reflection. No eyes, just dark holes, skin pale like wet paper. And then I realized it wasn't a child. It was the thing that left footprints. I spun around. Nothing. But my breath caught. Because when I turned back, the reflection of the child was still there, standing where it had just been. Now facing me. I backed out of the room, closed the door, locked it, and waited for dawn. The video, it recorded everything, but the file, when I played it back, was corrupted. Except for the last frame, a single still image of me asleep in bed, but my eyes were open, and something long was resting its hand on my shoulder. The next day, I tried to leave. I packed everything. But when I opened the front door, it was just the hallway. Same hallway from the room, same door at the end, and I was standing inside again. It looped, I blinked, and I was back in the chair. Clock 3:16. Then I heard it. Footsteps behind the wall, not in the hall. Inside the wall, scraping, pacing, breathing. Then a voice. My voice. Don't follow him. I turned toward the mirror, and I saw myself walking down the hall. But it wasn't a reflection. It was me. Another me. Walking toward the room at the end of the corridor, opening the door. I followed. I don't know why. Instinct, curiosity, stupidity. The moment I stepped through the door, the clock screamed. That's the only word I have for it. Not ticking, not chiming. Screaming. The room was burning. The bed was melting. The walls were bleeding ink. And sitting in the middle, curled up, was that child thing wearing my face? It looked up and said, "You're late." I don't remember how I got out of that room. One moment I was standing in front of that thing wearing my face. Pale, smiling, skin stretched too tightly around the edges, like a mask. And the next, I was outside, on the front porch, barefoot, shaking, with blood under my fingernails. I'd clawed at something. But I don't know what. The door behind me was closed, and this time, it stayed closed. I left, didn't say goodbye to the owner, didn't grab my bag. I drove for hours without knowing where I was going. Only when the sun came up did I start to feel like I was back in my own body. I told myself I imagined it all. Sleep deprivation, isolation, a bad dream loop. But something followed me. 3 days later, I woke up in my apartment at, you guessed it, 3:17 a.m. Not 3 o'clock. Not 3:30. Exactly. And sitting across from me at the edge of my bed was a clock. The same clock, but smaller, like it had been cut out of that room and delivered to me. Still handless, still ticking once, sharply. I threw it out the window. It was back the next night, ticking, mocking. I started seeing myself again, in glass reflections, store windows, car mirrors, doing things I wasn't doing, staring at me, smiling, and always whispering the same phrase, even when no lips moved. You didn't stop it. Now it's your turn. People around me started to notice something was wrong. I'd say things I didn't remember saying. Once, my coworker asked what I meant by, "You'll be in the room next week." I never said that. I sleep with all lights on now. But it doesn't matter. Every night, 3:17 comes, and something happens. Sometimes I wake up standing at the door to my own bedroom, trying to open it from the inside. Sometimes, the door opens, and I see the hallway from that house outside. I try not to move. Sometimes I fail. But the worst night was when I woke up in bed, felt something breathing next to me, and turned my head. And there I was, me, lying next to me, eyes open, mouth smiling, whispering. We switched. And I haven't felt the same since. I don't feel hunger, or pain, or time. I just wait and listen. Because no matter where I am, the clock always finds me. And it always ticks once. And it always brings me back. Thank you for listening to Whispered Ghosts. If this story made your skin crawl, hit like, share it with someone who always wakes up at the same time, and subscribe for more true encounters. Some doors can't be closed. Some clocks can't be stopped. See you at 3:17. Good night.